Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today it's time to have a little bit of a look at Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. There has been another trailer, another update, there are some things to talk about, but let's start with what is probably the coolest thing that has been revealed today, and that is Farigiraf, the evolution of Girafarig. How cool is that? And, you know, is it being eaten by its tail? Has its tail turned into its head? Who knows, ladies and gentlemen? But this is an extremely cool Pokemon. And I like getting evolutions. I like getting new evolutions of old Pokemon. It makes me happy. So yeah, also for fans of the TCG, which of course is what we usually focus on this channel, do remember that basically from now on, Girafarig cards are going to be pretty terrible, because rather than being standalone basics, they're going to be evolving basics, and that makes a difference. So for Farigiraf here, what we've got is the long neck Pokemon. It is normal and psychic type, 10'6", 352 pounds, with two abilities that are new. So we've got the ability Cut You. It's a new ability appearing for the first time. When a Pokemon with this ability eats a berry, it will eat it one more time at the end of the next turn. And there's definitely some things we can play around with that. And there's another new ability, Armor Tail. It makes opposing Pokemon unable to use priority moves, which is wonderful because does anyone really like priority moves? I'm going to go ahead and say probably not, ladies and gentlemen. Probably. I mean, we all like using priority moves. What I mean is we don't like it when our opponent uses them. They can be a little bit annoying. Now, we have got a bit more information about Farigiraf here. The head of its main body and the head of its tail combined. As a result of its evolution, the head of its main body and the head from its tail have become one. Both of Farigiraf's brains, yes, apparently two brains, are connected through thick nerves, increasing its psychic energy, and it can emit psychic waves from the antennae on its head. It's always mindful of its surroundings, and while it can detect danger in an instant, there are times when its body cannot react as fast as its two brains can think. Bit weird. And the head from its tail is equipped to both offense and defense. Yes, the head closes around the head. The thick, sturdy head from its tail provides good defense for the head of the main body. When the head from its tail closes its mouth, Farigiraf rips its long neck around in an attack that deals brutal physical damage. The force of this attack is said to be able to pulverize stone and crush steel beams. So yeah, Farigiraf. This is cool. Also, while we're here, just quickly, so we haven't actually talked about Wiglett on this channel. Of course, Wiglett was revealed a week ago, so we're a little bit late on Wiglett, but there wasn't really enough to make a video on. But Wiglett, just quickly, is the Garden Eel Pokemon, Water type, 3'11", 4 pounds with the abilities Gooey and Rattled. Though it may closely resemble Diglett, it's a completely different Pokemon. It pokes a part of its body out of the sand to feed in the ocean. It's still unclear what the rest of its body hidden in the sand is like, or how long it might be. And it's got a sense of smell that can pick up scents from over 60 feet away. Boasting an exceptional sense of smell, Wiglett is able to pick up scents from over 60 feet away. It has a skittish disposition and is constantly cautious of its surroundings. When it notices the scent of other Pokemon, Wiglett burrows into the sand to conceal itself. So let's all suppose we go digging for Wiglets. Sounds like fun, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds like fun. No, wait, stop right there, ladies and gentlemen. There were actually other new Pokemon shown off. Now, it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if it was deliberate or not. But in the US and UK versions of the trailers, not the Japanese version of the trailer and other Asian territories, but in the English language ones, we actually saw this image. And if we just kind of focus on the bottom right-hand corner, we can see that your little mini-map there has 3 Pokemon on that we've not seen before. There are 3 Pokemon on that little mini-map that don't currently exist as Pokemon. And, you know, this is from a screenshot on the official trailer. This is definitely new and real. We've got a mouse that may or may not be wearing a backpack. We've got ourselves a little green parrot, and we've got ourselves what can only be described as the one-up mushroom from Mario, but as a Pokemon. Like, it's that. It's the one-up mushroom from Mario, but as a Pokemon. I suppose you can try and give me some counter-arguments if you like. I'm not really going to listen to them. It's the one-up mushroom from Mario, but as a Pokemon. This is kind of cool, honestly, ladies and gentlemen. This is kind of cool. So, yeah, this is fun. I like this. So, 3 new Pokemon there. We have no information about them whatsoever. We don't know what they are, and we don't know what they're called. We don't know anything about them, but they did show up on the minimap during one part of the trailer, and it would be frankly rude to at least not acknowledge that. Now, one of the things that really intrigued me from the trailer was the introduction of the TM machine, which is, as you might guess, is a machine that can help you make TMs. Now, a single TM can only be used once. That's been the case for a long time. HMs can be used as much as you like, but TMs are one use. A TM is a technical machine that can give your Pokemon a new attack. However, you can make these over and over and over and over again, and I love it. I've had to use Therapy.net a bunch. I'm replaying all the games at the moment, start to finish, Gen 1 all the way through. And one of the things I've found is, I want a particular TM, but it's hidden away in one part of the world, and I have to go finding it. It's a real pain. Here you can just make them. I am really interested to see whether they time lock some of them, so whether particular attacks are only available when you've gotten to a certain part of the game, or whether they're just all available from the beginning. I honestly don't know. But what you do is you need to use league points and materials dropped by wild Pokemon after battle, whether you catch or whether you defeat them. League points can be obtained as you advance the story or by trading in materials from Pokemon, and then you go and make the TM. Oh, here we go. It does actually say on the website, sorry, the selection of TMs available grows as you continue your adventure, so they're not all available from the beginning. They do lock some of them behind progress, which makes sense so that you can't kind of break the game too early. I love this. I think this is so much better than just finding random TMs just littered around the world. I was never a huge fan of that. It always just seemed completely, ripe for things going wrong. So I absolutely adore that they've gone and sorted this out. I absolutely love it. This makes me happy, ladies and gentlemen. This makes me very happy indeed. Now, the other thing they really pushed in this trailer, the other big reveal, so to speak, was picnics. Yeah, that's right. Go on picnics with your Pokemon. And there's various things you can do. You can wash your Pokemon, which doesn't sound weird at all. You can take pictures with your Pokemon, which is kind of cool. And you can make sandwiches with your Pokemon. And when they were showing it in the trailer, it really looked kind of like a physics puzzle almost. You weren't just selecting the ingredients, you were dropping them on and they could fall out, and it just looked so much more interesting than making curries in Gen 8. Please don't be mad at me for saying that. Plus, come on, sandwiches. Who doesn't like a good sandwich? You know, but then again, he doesn't like a good curry. Point is, you can make sandwiches, and they will potentially give XP to your Pokemon, which is good. But they said in the trailer that making the right kind of sandwich can also make certain kinds of Pokemon easier to catch for a period of time after you make the sandwich, which is a little bit weird, but that's kind of cool. Oh, and washing Pokemon will restore their HP and make your bond stronger. Yay! And it's kind of cool that in the game, Pokemon will actually get covered by mud from the roadside, snow from snowstorms, sand from sandstorms, etc., which is honestly kind of fun. I do quite like that. And yes, you can have picnics with other players via the internet or local communication. So yay! Picnics sound honestly kind of fun. Now, they did also show off in the trailer that you can find wild Tera Pokemon. These can essentially be spotted because they are sparkling when they're walking around the overworld. So in the trailer, they showed an example of a Jigglypuff, and that Jigglypuff was sparkling. And then you go into a battle against a Jigglypuff, and you have to deal a bunch of damage. And when you deal enough damage, you break the terastallizing, and then you can catch it. And they did confirm that any Pokemon is capable of being any Tera type. And I do think the wording here is really important. They didn't say any Pokemon will be, they said is capable of being. Of course, we already know that Pikachu with the flying Tera type is a pre-order or early purchase exclusive. We know that. That's already a thing we've been told before. So they said they're capable. it does sound a little bit like you're not necessarily going to be able to find all of them in the game from the off. That does make a little bit of sense, but it's a little bit sad if I'm honest with you. I'm reading a bit between the lines here, but the fact that they said any Pokemon is capable of being any Tera type, and the fact that we know that an exclusive flying Tera type Pikachu as an early purchase bonus, that tells me that I don't think they're all going to necessarily be findable from the beginning of the game. And actually, I lied, there is one more very cool thing they did show. When you go and fight Team Star, you go into their little compound and use the Let's Go mechanic. That's the one we saw in the previous trailer where you basically send your Pokemon out on its own to fight and catch items, etc. And there was a whole bunch of grunts just throwing their Pokemon out, and you were sending your Pokemon out with the Let's Go command and having to take down 30 at once before you can fight with Mela. That seems like a really interesting game mechanic. That's one I really want to have a little bit of a play with. But then they did something very interesting. They talked about the real battle with Mela, who is, of course, the leader of Team Star. But they said you're going to have to wait and see how that battle unfolds. They showed some battles in the game, but they didn't show the battle against Mela, and they were hinting that it was a bit different and a bit weird and not like normal by not showing it and then saying you'll have to wait and see how the battle unfolds. So that one to me is one I've got my eye on. That has raised a question to me. I think the way they did that was very deliberate. I suppose we're going to have to wait and see. But we saw ourselves a new Pokemon in Farigiraf, and we found out that you can find wild Tera Pokemon. We found out about the TM machine. We found out about picnics, and we found out about these really cool way you take down the compounds for Team Star. And honestly, right, November the 18th cannot come fast enough. I want this game, ladies and gentlemen. I want it in my Switch. I want to be playing it right now. But for now, it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what you think about the new mechanics. Tell me anything you want to tell me. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and all kinds of stuff, to be honest with you. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel. You can get a weekly bonus pod where I will answer all of your questions. You can join a Discord and chat Pokemon with us. And you can get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Noah Zoldak, who has been one of our supporters for a while and is a very lovely person. So thank you to Noah for being a supporter and for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.